Hello, everyone, and welcome to Seller Mobile TV. I have got a very special guest with me here today. The Amazon community sort of tends to be a really small space, but honestly, anything is when you really get to know the people that are involved in providing services and are part of that community. And so I am so excited to introduce you guys to Norman Farrar. He is an e-commerce veteran and seems to be everywhere. Honestly, I don't know how you do it. And so let's kind of go through your credentials a little bit and tell people that we've got, kind of a heavy hitter here with us. So you are doing, you have a sourcing and logistics company, right? So it's
Correct.
the whole spectrum, sourcing and logistics. Then you have a managed services company for Amazon. So essentially, you are running people's Amazon stores on their behalf.
Hmm.
Then you've got a PR company where you are doing press releases and content. And last but not least, you just launched a new podcast. And
Right.
so you're honestly doing it all. I don't know how you do it. You are an enigma, sir. But we do appreciate you being on here to tell us a little bit about what you do. You have, I think I just mentioned this, but if I didn't, we just talked about this is you've been doing e-commerce since the 90s, right? So you've been doing this for a long time. You know this space, you understand it. And just last week, we were talking about Amazon posts. If people that know Amazon knows that Amazon is constantly changing the game, coming up with new things, changing things, and really keeping us on our feet. So we do appreciate them for keeping us agile. Um, and at Seller Mobile, we are working with thousands of Amazon sellers, many of whom have their own brands on Amazon. And so when Amazon Post came about, people were curious how it works, what kind of impact this will have on their business, how they can utilize it. And you're here to demystify Amazon Posts for us. So tell us about what is Amazon Post, who should be using it, how can this impact sellers, e-commerce businesses, their sales, and is it worth their time to use this? So you've got a deck for us, so I'll let you take it
I do.
away.
Okay, and I hope after everybody hears this that they will sign up with Amazon Post right away because if you're not using it, you're losing out on a lot of money.
Well, that's a good way to introduce it. So everything after this is very relevant.
Okay, so let me just share this, and I'll have to get my screen up and
Sure,
going. This will just take a second.
that's okay.
I'm going to do my. Oops. Okay. I got three screens, so I got to try to figure this out.
It's
Okay,
always
I'm
like,
going to
which
play the
one is it? Where's
slideshow.
the mouse? There you
There
go.
we go. Can you see that?
I can see it perfectly.
All right, so if technology works, I should be able to hit a button. I'm an old guy, so I just hit buttons. All right, so Amazon Post. It's first a little bit about me. It's a little bit relevant. So I've been in the industry for about 30 years, e-commerce since the mid 90s. I've set up some manufacturing facilities in Canada, US, Taiwan, and China. China's still running. Especially packaging, sourcing. So just a little bit of everything. And that's why Amazon's sort of my perfect storm. So when I jump into Amazon, I kind of jump in with both feet, try to figure out, what kind of traffic do I need to do? Like launching a product on Amazon or developing a product on Amazon is one thing, but getting external traffic, if you don't do it properly, is a problem. And you could have a great listing, but no traffic. So I call it sort of the three pillars of launch, and that's PPC, rebates, and press releases, and then Amazon posts. And once we start looking at Amazon posts, you'll find out exactly why this is so relevant to Amazon right now. It increases the traffic. Uh, what you'll notice is that your conversion rate will naturally go up too. And I'll get more into that once we get started. But the biggest part to this is it's free. So they're not charging anything for this right now. It's in beta and they're still testing it out. But what you'll notice is that you can do some really wild things with this. So what are Amazon posts? This is what Amazon says Amazon posts are. Posts help shoppers discover new products and see what's new from brands by browsing feeds of brand curated content. Posts link to product detail pages, making each post in a feed shoppable. And each post includes category tags so shoppers can continue exploring posts in relevant related categories. Now, wait till I get to this because it's really cool the way that they've set it up. So I'm not sure, but I'm going to just ask out there if anybody is using Amazon Post. Most of the time, if it's a live event, which hasn't happened for ages, but you'll notice that just a few hands will go up. And that's probably same with anybody listening here. I've heard of it, I've seen it. I don't even know where to find it. So this has all changed actually over the last week or two. So this is kind of cool that you're watching this at this time because things have changed. So what's a post? This is Amazon's answer to social media. They tried it before. The platform was called Sparks, and it just died a very quick death. And I don't know why, but social media. I guess they added an extra element of narcissism, and they thought people would be interested in just showing people what they just bought, and nobody was really interested in what I was buying or what you were buying, unless you're Kim Kardashian or something. So it just didn't take off. It failed. So what they wanted to do, and this came out just after Nike left. So Nike said they left because there was a few reasons, but the one reason was they couldn't build their brand around a community. There was no way to do this on the Amazon platform. So I think it was 3 or 4 days afterwards, Amazon launched posts. And this was so you could create a better customer experience, build a brand around a community, and make it shoppable, which is really cool. And they've made it very hard to shop. And I'll explain why in a sec, but it makes perfect sense once you understand it. So building the community, and I'm just going to have a drink here. I've got a frog in my throat. So anyways, okay, building a community and building a brand. Amazon's answer to building the community, you control the content. So just like press releases, you control exactly what the customer sees. So you have the message, you can show them exactly what you want them to see. You can highlight something that might be a negative for your competition. You can cross promote. There's so many things that you can do. And there's all sorts of areas where they show up on a website or on your mobile. And now there is an area that you can see it on desktop. But anyways, it typically is for your mobile app. So why posts? They, again, just continued on this. This is an easy way to get seen on Amazon. It repurposes your social media posts. So if you've got any interesting posts, lifestyle posts, any type of content, except for questions or polls, you can put it on here. It's very, very inexpensive to use. It also adds another touch point. So anybody familiar with marketing, just the basics of marketing, typically it takes seven touch points for people to remember your brand. Well, if you take a look on the Amazon page, this is another touch point on your actual product listing page, or when you go to Amazon. When you go to Amazon, you go to page 1. When they click on your page or your product listing, you see the brand, you see sold by the brand, you'll see the images, you'll see frequently bought together. Everything is brand, brand, brand. And then you'll end up seeing the posts. And I'll show you this, but I'll tell you where it is right now. It's above the questions. So that's just another area where if you're looking for a brand and you're scrolling down, all of a sudden you'll see this new brand above questions. It's called related posts. So this also helps you build brand authority and trust. And it's 180% different from most other social media platforms because the main reason here yeah, you're building a brand, but it's getting people to buy. They're promoting you to buy. They want you to drive people over to buy. So I think that's a lot different than, what a Facebook or an Instagram. I know, with Facebook ads, but just the typical post, every post is shoppable. And also you can drive traffic to custom brand pages.
Now let me ask you this, and you might go over this a little bit later, but
Yep.
your the post that you create as your brand, does that show up just on your product listings, or can it show up on your competitors' product listings as well?
Well, 2 weeks ago, if you asked me this question, different answer. So you used to be able to have, if you had brand or posts, it would show up on your product listing, and it would only be you under just above the question area. But since 2 weeks ago, now what they've done is they've put all brands under on your listing. So you used to have to scroll down. So you'd have your products, which was called brands similar to this, or I forget what the
Yeah.
exact words were. And then when you scroll down, it was your competitors. Now they've combined everything together. So I'll show you what that looks like now. They've completely changed the way that Amazon brands are working. And I'm not a fan of what they've done. I think that before, this gave you an opportunity to show off your posts a lot easier than it is now. Now they've got to find your posts, and those go onto your competitors' brands and everybody else's. The bonus to this is if you're in a niche that's not using brand or posts a lot, you'll be able to go out there and be seen a lot more than any of the others. And if you're posting more content, your chances of being seen are a lot better. And if they rank higher in engagement, you'll be able to be seen a lot more than your competitors. So I will be getting into that shortly.
But it
So
almost also seems like if you're not using it and your competitors are, they're going to show up on your listings and
oh
you
yeah.
will not. So it's almost like you've got to be using it if the other brands in your category are.
Yeah, and you're not talking about a few extra clicks. With one of our brands, we've had as high as 200,000 impressions in a 3-day period.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then with, I forget how many people came over. It was about, I think it was 1.3%. So whatever that works out to, that's on one post, and we're posting 5 times a day, 3 to 5 times a day.
Oh wow.
Multiply that by 30, you get a ton of extra traffic. And these people that, like, when you click on a post, I know you can't see it right now, but when you click on your first post, it's going to take you to a second post. So you click on the first one, it goes to another post. You can click on show product, and then it'll show you a summary of your listing. And then you click on that, and it goes to your product listing. So it actually takes you 3 to 4 clicks to buy something. So what does that mean? It means that if somebody's going to click on your listing 3 to 4 times, they're probably going to buy your product. So your conversion rate is going to go up. And it's not somebody like, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to click, 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 click. Like the rule of thumb, I believe it's still what I learned many years ago, but every time you click, you lose about 50%. So, 50%, 50%, 50%, 50%, you're left with very few people. And then out of those people, you do have a really great conversion rate. We've seen it, although they don't have any way of you seeing that conversion rate. We have seen sales go up when we've run these campaigns with any of our new clients that come on board. So it is 100%. You can see it runs parallel with this.
So just to clarify, Amazon doesn't actually show you any metrics on,
No.
how many sales a post or post in general will get you. However, just sort of anecdotally, when you're just the timeline and since you've posted for your customers, you've seen an increase in sales.
Yes, yeah,
Got it.
100% sure. And I'll show you a couple of reports, and you can
Sure.
see the numbers are just dropping.
Gotcha.
So I'll just get into this. So you do get to show up, like you said, on your competitors' listings, which is kind of cool. And there are a few tricks I'll show you in a sec. Um, Increase your impressions and page sessions. You're going to get more traffic, so that just makes sense. So it's free external traffic, and improve your conversion rate. And again, all posts are shoppable. Once again, it's free. So I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if they're going to make this more of a targeted campaign where you can target your competitors later on, but take advantage of it. It's still in beta, and they're still tweaking it. So how it works. So there's three ways to show how it works. One's discovery, browsing, and then shopping. So you're going to be able to find the brands on a display. You're going to be able to browse the different feeds. You can usually see it in a carousel. So you can scroll right or you can scroll down and you'll see multiple different posts. And then you can shop on it. Now, what does it look like? So it's made up of 5 sections. So you've got the brand, which is where you see Delstrom. You've got the image. You've got the shopping. So where it says hide product, that usually will say show product, and then you click it and it'll drop down. Then you've got the caption, which now the caption can be 2 lines. You don't want, well, if it goes more than 2 lines, you'll get dot, 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 or show more. And you can have it up to 2,200 characters. And you can do a lot with this. So, for example, with this knife, every Monday you might want to post a recipe. So people get used to every Monday night, from Delstrom, they see a recipe. And you can write it's 2,200 characters long. Or you could run a contest just asking chefs or whoever to tag them using posting a recipe. And then you can retweet those on here. And I'll show you that later towards the end on how you can retweet from chefs or from people who you've bought your product and you've asked them to tag you, so you can just get free content to put on. The fourth, it's the categories. Now, this is really interesting. Matter of fact, it was in the knife category. We were targeting different categories. And all of a sudden, we saw that it was in pairing and something else. And we had no idea that we were relevant in that search. So then we started to target keywords in that category. And we ended up getting more sales and taking over more keywords and keyword phrases. So this brought it to our attention, which we had no idea that we had.
Nice.
So getting started. This is the hardest part, but it's easy. Most people don't know how to get started. So the first thing that you have to do is go into your Seller Central, go to settings, go to user permissions, and enable a post. And you're going to scroll down, you'll see post. It's going to be turned off. Just turn it on. Then get out of the Seller Central account and visit post.amazon.com. You're going to create a very easy logo and verify your brand, and then you're ready to submit your first post. So keep in mind that the brand is in a circle. So if you just, like in this one, for example, if you took Delstrom and you made it too tight, then it could cut off the brand. So you just want to be aware of that. And the logo can be 1 inch by 1 inch or 640 by 640 pixels. It is cropped. Color format is RGB, and it can be, I don't know how you can put 100 megabytes in a 1 inch by 1 inch square. So, but anyways, that's what it can take. So there's different types of brand posts. Now they're very similar, and there's subtle differences, but it's where they're located and what they'll do. So the very first one, this has been changed now. So when you're scrolling down your listing, or if you go to, let's say, if you want to go to Delstrom just to check it out, you can go to customers who bought this item also bought, And then in between that and customer questions, you're going to see something that says related posts. This used to be just your post. Now it's any competitor that posts. So you're going to be able, it's a carousel. You're going to be able to, it's either 10 or 15 posts that are shown there. Now notice that there is no category here. So you know that it's not your brand feed or any of the other ones. So you can't, this is just a launching pad. This is why I said you've got to click once, then you've got to click twice, because you'll notice on this post that there's no drop down for shop product or show product. So this is just showing you that there's a post. So you can scroll to the right, check it out. And if you've got an engaging post or if you've got something really interesting, this is where you can steal away on a competitor's page, get them to look at yours. And it really does work. You can see it in the reporting that you're getting tons of engagement on certain types of posts that work. And so there, the second one, this one's called your brand feed. So this, it's been around since the beginning, but you see where it says Delstrom? I put number 1 up to the top. If you click on that, then all you're going to see is your posts. These are all the ones that you've put on, and it's a vertical scroll. So you can scroll down and you can see everything that you've done. This is a full post. You've got the brand, all 5 components or sections are there. The image, the captions, click the show product. It'll show a summary, and then click that, you can get to the listing. Same thing with the categories are all showing there. So I like this one. If I can get people to click, or if people click on the brand, some people, like, it's not that well explained. You literally just have to go and click it. Nobody knows to click the brand, but when they do, this is what they'll be able to see. This is what they'll be able to see. And this is just showing you the vertical, and it'll go forever. Now on the category feed, this is so you'll be able to see, like you see here, cutlery, knife blocks, and whatever that third one is, kitchen something, kitchen utensils probably. And let me just see. Oops. So there's another category feed. So I clicked on here. There should be one more. Sorry. There we go. So now you've got, if you notice, it's not a brand. It's under cutlery and knife accessories. And now you've got all the different people who are under cutlery and knife accessories who are doing Amazon post for either knives, or in this case it was a kitchen a knife sharpener. So that's kind of interesting. So we were promoting a knife, and yet under the cutlery and knife accessories, the first thing that came up was the knife sharpener. But if you do scroll down, you'll actually see a lot of knives. All right, and then finally, these are the related posts. There we go. And so with this one, you remember the first one I showed you? If you click on any of those posts from the first one, this is where it's a little bit confusing. So the first one's a carousel that goes right 10 or 15. But if you click on any of those posts, this is you'll come to this, the related post feed page. And it's a vertical, and it'll show all your competitors. I'm not sure why they set it up that way. And that is a little bit confusing for people, but that's what you'll see. And you'll notice that from the first post that we put up, there was no categories. This is what it would look like, because now you can see the drop down, you can see, or the show product, which is going to drop down the summary, and you're going to see the categories.
So just so I have it right, so when you're under the listing, you see your competitors in the same category as a carousel. If you
Yep.
click on the name of the brand name, it'll take you to all the posts related to your specific
Yep.
brand. And then At what point? So when you click on a category, then it will take you to all your competitors who share that category.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And even when you, in this category, you can see that they have kitchen and dining and knife sharpeners. So if you wanted to dig even deeper, you could do that.
And you get to assign your own category for each post?
Not yet.
No.
This is everything is picked up by the algorithm.
Gotcha.
They
Okay.
they assign it. They put it on the competitors' listings. You don't have a choice at this time. And again, I think it's because it's free and it's
Right.
going to lead to some sort of paid placement.
Oh, got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So now the next part is very simple. It's creating your first post. You've gone in, you've created your profile. It's going to come to a page like this and it's going to be create a post. It's going to look like this. So this is where you would create your post and then you start filling it in. You add your image, you add your caption, you add your ASIN, and then you'll see that they'll put a preview together and you click submit. Once you hit submit, it's going to go to Amazon for review, and you'll either see that it's under review, uh, pending review, or live. And usually, if there's a problem with the post, and that's very few. It's just, I mean, really, if you're blatantly doing something wrong, they'll reject it. But I very seldomly get a rejected post.
Got it. Now, do you log into your Amazon advertising account to? How do you get to this?
Yeah, I always just go to posts.amazon.com. They might have slipped it into advertising now. Like it's got to go there someday.
Right.
So they might have put it there, but we're so used just to going to post.amazon.com.
Got it. Okay. And so you said every single post is it needs to be so it's not instant once you post it. It needs to be approved by Amazon before it goes live.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Yes. All right. So here is what it looks like when it's shoppable. So instantly shoppable. As soon as it goes live, people can buy the product, which I think is great.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great avenue to just another way, and like you said, the fact that it's free and it probably won't be for very long, with especially with the traction that it's getting. But it's a great thing to jump on, especially while it's free, to just to learn it, to understand it. So that way you can decide later on, if this is right for you or not. But it's a great way
Right.
to see what kind of traction you'll get.
Right. And now with the post specifications, this is really important. Well, like the file format, okay, so it's a JPEG or PNG file, but this is what's interesting. You've got three different types of display aspect ratios: 1:1, 16:9, or 4:3. That 16:9 can be horizontal or vertical. So here's the game changer. There's a lot of different types of content that you can put up. And that's the next section that I'm getting into. And depending on that type of content, you're going to notice that if you use the 16:9, like either vertical or horizontal, or 4:3, same thing, vertical or horizontal, or 1:1, that different types of content get different types of responses based on the aspect ratio. So if you're looking at your reports and all of a sudden you're noticing that polished images are taking off by 1:1, and your lifestyle images 16:9 horizontal are working, then you could start just doing more and more and more lifestyle photos either horizontal. But it really does change, and you'll see the report. Some like 1:1, nobody's for us anyways. We get the biggest bang for our buck with 16:9. That's ours. And the nice thing about 16:9, here's a little bonus, that if you want to, just knock your competitor off the mobile phone, is that if your post is 16:9, so it shows up on the phone, somebody clicks on it, it's big enough that it knocks the competitor off the search. So the only thing that people see is your post. So that's another reason why we do it too. So it's focused on you rather than your competitor at the bottom. Because if it's 4x3 or 1x1, you still see that second brand underneath you. But 16x9, just keep that in mind. And also, like we talked about before, there's 2,200 characters, 2 lines of text, and I can't tell you the number of characters because it's different on every phone. It's not like 70 characters per line.
Now,
Now,
oh, sorry, I
yep.
was going to ask you a question. Sorry, and you might get to it later, but I just thought we kind of get ahead of that. Is it should folks be repurposing their already, posted posts on social media, or is this kind of does something need to be different about this?
Nope, you can do exactly the same. If you've got some really great social media content, you can post it. So lifestyle, especially, any you can even use the images that you have in your deck, in your infographics, or in your A+ pages. Anything at all. It could be from Instagram or Facebook. It's just not video. So it's images right now.
Got it.
So we start off with, we thought the best performer for us would be polished images. People like them, but it's not our best performer. You can test it out for yourself, but we definitely do like to mix it up. This is where all forms of social media, or all sorts of content, just like it's preached for Facebook or anything that you're doing, it's really great to have a diverse selection of images. So we'll start off with these are just really nice polished images for knives. The next, candid photos. And so it could just be a candid, just somebody that we've asked to do an unboxing video. So you could go to a Thomason, or you could go to an IntelliFluence, or it could be driven from an insert that you have in the box, asking people to tag you. And then these are some pictures that would be like that. These are not professional, and these are by far for us, for knives, are the highest converting. So it's the people. It just looks like they're a real person using the product, or having doing something with the product. It's a lifestyle. It's social proof. The other thing that I like to say, I didn't mention it before. It's great for cross promotion. So if you take a look at the top right, you can show what else you sell. If you're selling shampoo, here's the conditioner. Oh yeah, and the serum. So again, it's building that community around your brand. So if I'm here, I might say, wow, I need a butcher's knife. I'll type in, whatever the knife company is, and then butcher knife. Now I'm buying that product. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then you can see that, actually, I don't know why, but with that person on the bottom left, that's one of our better engaging images. And again, you can just see they're all, even the one on the bottom right, it's not a bad image. It's just this is an unboxing video. This is a photo. I think it's pretty cool. The other thing is you can look at features and benefits. And features and benefits, you can show, these are things that you might be having on your A+ pages. I know I saw one, it's down below here. It's the safety knife with this little girl and the mom cutting. The little girl, there's a couple actually that show her cutting a tomato by herself, because you can't cut yourself with this knife. The little kids can use them. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then on the top right, it's showing again the qualities of the product. Now, this is lifestyle, which is a shot rather than a candid shot. These are 2 ladies at work using the product, and it's a little bit different than somebody unboxing the product. I like this. Again, high engagement. Not a great picture, but it got results. This one crushes it. When you can show an influencer or somebody getting an award, it's great. Like on one of our products, Rachel Ray used it. Well, we could show that. We could show that it was in like a magazine, Good Housekeeping. But this chef, he was given an award, and we mentioned it on. Actually, that's not from us. So he was given an award. We have done this and reached out to culinary schools to give us images of the chefs, and then down below, those aren't from us. These are chefs using the products. And we've reached out to different chefs, sent them over the product, and said, "Hey, give this a shot. If you like it, just share us or tag us." So it's all about engagement. And this one you're not going to believe. You won't believe that. This is the one that it drives me crazy. But somebody sent this, and it was posted, and our highest engagement, like, blew up, is some psycho killer with a knife. We posted this, and that was the one that got the highest engagement. I thought, first of all, it would be rejected, and then second of all, this lady looking like she's a serial killer with a knife wasn't going to get anything. Well, this killed it. So you don't know what it's going to be unless you test it out.
Right.
The next thing is putting together your calendar. So you want to put together a content calendar with as you can see here, it's product shot, influencer feature, candidate, unboxing, lifestyle, and it's just different types of product shots or different types of content. So polished, candid, unboxing, features and benefits, lifestyle, influencer, and crazy lady. So that's what I think. If you have that as a mix, you can repost all day long. And talking about reposting, this is an app, and there's lots out there where if you do get tagged, you can get an app called Repost. You just open it up, you find a post on Twitter, you copy it, you export it to your photos, and then you can upload it, and it'll show the person once you upload it onto post. So here's one, and then working with an influencer.
So you're saying that these are posts on different social media platforms that you are reposting on your Amazon posts, correct?
For example, all of these people are chefs, and so it's just sending the knife out to a chef and saying, "Hey, try this out. If you like it, tag us." And then it's just going and seeing that they've used it, and now you can tag them. Nice. And the other thing that you can do is, let's say that on your insert, usually if you just say tag us, you'll get some results. But if you say something like, we'll get a chance to win a $50 or $100 Amazon gift card or whatever, people will even post more. And then, again, going back and taking these images and not only using them for, or not only getting them from people tagging you, but go to Thomason, go to IntelliFluence, go to BuzzSumo, and try to find some bloggers or influencers that will start to promote all these images that you have. And now that's going to drive a ton of traffic over to you as well. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can work with people. And I'll give you an example. This is crazy. And I was talking about him the other day, and all of a sudden he was actually on the podcast listening. But this is a buddy of mine. This is when you know you have the best brand out there. So he has 1,000 people following his brand. Okay, not a lot, but these 1,000 people have tattooed tattooed his logo on the body.
That's serious. That's a lifetime commitment there.
Yep. And
Wow.
if you think I'm joking, check out hashtag Die Epic Tattoos. I think there's only 50 there, but there's over 1,000 people that you want to talk about being a brand ambassador.
Right.
So if you can get people to tattoo, the point of this is you can get people to tattoo Die Epic on your body. Well, they look like, as you can see, bottom left, it'll say retweet. Now here's the post or the report. So you'll see the date created, whether it's live, the image, and you can see the different types of aspect ratios, and then you can see impressions. These are just impressions we took: 26,000, 25,000, 78,000, 37,000, 6,000, and it goes all the way down. Now you can see that there's one that had 2,800 and only 2 clicks. So we took a look at it, and it's really not that. I mean, we noticed that style of image wasn't doing anything. So we kind of weaned it out, and we're not doing that anymore. But the ones that are getting the higher and higher click-through rates, now they've changed it. It's called engagement. Okay, so they've got engagement and engagement rate. Excuse me. On the new reports, just give me a sec here. So, there, sorry, couldn't mute. Anyways, the reports are great, but what you'll notice is that most people in e-commerce will be going, oh, look at the click-through rate. Yes, look at the click-through rate. So let's say out of 26, we got 58. Out of 25, we got 44. Out of 78, we got 247. Well, that's all in one day. And, well, it's actually not. These are 4. Nope, there was 2, and then there was 3, 4 on this day. So we're talking about thousands of new people with high converting traffic that'll come and buy your product. So with our product, this is a very expensive knife. We've noticed that we've easily, you're looking at probably $15,000 to $20,000 worth of new sales coming from just posts. That's it.
Yeah. So tell me this. We had one of our sellers ask us this, and he does really, really well on Amazon, but it's one of those sort of smaller brands, right? Doesn't have a lot of
Mhm.
name recognition, but he does really well on Amazon, but they don't have a social media presence. Is it worth creating this when you don't necessarily have an external social media presence? Is it worth creating this content for Amazon posts exclusively?
Well, this is where if you're building a brand, you're missing out if you don't have social media. So even if you're a small brand, you want to make sure that you have some form of social media, because people are buying your product based on authority and trust, trust being the most important thing. They'll go to Amazon, they'll look at your product, and then they're going to go to Google. And usually they'll see something on Google. Either it's some sort of content that's written, it might be a website, or social media. And if they don't see that, then they don't trust you, and they click off to another brand. And that comes down to those 7 touches I was talking about. So if you don't have social media, build it. And this gives you a great way of building it, and building it for very cheap. All you're doing is asking people to do certain things with your product. It could be unboxing, it could be using it, you could be going out and searching. You can get a VA to do this very inexpensively. You can get them to research the different types of influencers. You can go and, for example, might be chefs. All right, so we'll send out 100 knives to chefs. Well, there's a few months worth of content that you can use. So there's all sorts of different stuff that you can do very inexpensively, especially if people are already buying your product and you've got this is we haven't touched it on here, but I always talk about the customer experience, and I know most people roll their eyes, but it's so important that when somebody gets a box, like let's say it's a knife again, and they open it up, and all of a sudden it's presented to them, and they feel like they've got something really special, and then they've got this little note just saying, "Hey, just show me, tag me." There's a lot of people that'll tag, and you don't have to pay them. They've already paid for the product. You don't have to give them anything. And so that's what's important with posts, is that you can either take from social media, but if you don't have social media, here's the post that you can get to also share and repurpose on social media. So yes, the answer is I would be doing Amazon posts for sure. And if you don't have time in the day, or if you're not one to write captions or anything like that, it's very inexpensive to go and find somebody to go and do it.
Perfect. Well, that was a lot of really good information, Norman. I appreciate you coming out and telling us about this. And I think that, I mean, you've done a couple of things. You've, told us how to get started. You've told us sort of the impact that this can have on your sales, and you've kind of clarified where people can find this information. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Where now, if people want your services, what will you do for them, for Amazon sellers, and how can they find you?
Oh my gosh, I'll make this a short. Okay, so if they want to get sourcing and logistics done, we do have a really incredible team in China. They can, how about this? Any of the services, just reach me at norm@amz.club. And that's for any of the Amazon services. If you're looking for launching a brand or just taking a look and seeing if there's anything that can be improved, we do that. And then for PR Reach, we provide press releases, content marketing, brand building, and rebate management. So we'll go out there and work with about 12 different rebate companies to help launch your product. So that's all at Norm@PR Reach. And the new podcast, which has nothing to do with Amazon,
But a fun
zero.
listen. But I listened to a couple of your episodes and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thanks. So thanks. So it's just interesting people, and it's called I Know This Guy, and so it's available on Apple and wherever else you can find podcasts.
Perfect, Norm. Thank you so much for chatting with us and giving us all this information. We really appreciate it.
You are very welcome.
And I'll post all of this. Little frog in my throat. And I'll post all of this information below so folks can find you and reach out.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.